So yeah, I hope you don't like answers because you ain't getting them with this movie. That cold, dead look in your eyes is brought to us by Onar Tukel and stars Frank Raharanasi, Alan Sapos, and Nora Aneziter. Nailed all those names. That cold, dead look in your eyes is a bit of a difficult movie to explain, but I'll try. Leonard recently broke up with his girlfriend Maria, but he is still living in the same apartment, sleeping on the couch. And while he's still pretty hung up on her, she doesn't want shit to do with him. Also, Leonard's job as a chef at a local New York restaurant isn't going so hot either, because it seems like pretty much everything that Leonard cooks tastes like straight up shit. He's not able to pay his bills, the woman he loves hates him, and he's probably about to lose his job. Leonard is not having a good year. When Maria goes out of town and her father comes to stay at the apartment because he's coming into town, things get a little bit odd for Leonard. You see, Maria's dad, Dennis, is a photographer and he has some odd ways about him. He kind of treats Leonard as a father of the daughter that the boyfriend did dirty would treat any boyfriend in that situation. And he starts bringing home random people and going upstairs and clogging the toilet and just kind of making Leonard's life hell. Leonard even walks in on this whole like nude party pseudo sex orgy thing at one point and is forced to stay there with all these naked people walking around as he kind of has a mental breakdown. So yeah, like I said just a second ago, Leonard not having a good run of it right now. And we pretty much get to witness Leonard's descent into a mental breakdown, I think. You see, this is an art house film, and not only is it an art house film, but it is a very obtuse art house film at times. Meaning, things get pretty weird. If you're not into obtuse art house films, you're not going to be able to tolerate this thing one bit. But if you are, there's a good chance that you might find something here to enjoy. Because even though this movie does get pretty far out there and you don't always understand what exactly is going on, it is a really interesting and intriguing experience. So much so that I kind of couldn't stop watching it. Now, if you look at the promotional material for this movie, it's kind of billed as a horror movie, but it's just not. Like, not at all. It's much more kind of a surreal drama with some thriller beats sprinkled in here or there. It's also got some genuinely funny dark humor sprinkled in here or there as well. Now, the vagueness in the storytelling of this film is probably going to lead everyone to a different conclusion, which is an interesting idea, and I did like that aspect of the film. However, my biggest issue with the movie was answers, or rather the lack thereof. The second half of this movie becomes a surreal as hell experience that never quite lands due to the ending. The ending is just flat out disappointing, and it doesn't give you anything. Had it had a better ending that actually gave you something to go on, it would have probably made this movie a whole lot better overall. As it stands, we're left with a lot of compelling questions, but we're never given enough to construct our own answers, much less the movie ever giving us any. When I say the movie does not give you any answers to what's going on, I mean any. There's like nothing here to even suggest anything. Now, I'm sure some people may disagree with that, and sure, you could probably come up with all kinds of things that could be going on here, but the movie itself does not give you anything to go on. And while I enjoy an ambiguous ending as much as the next guy, you gotta give me something. Now, our performances are all pretty good here, though at times, much like the rest of the movie, they can be a bit surreal as well. But seeing as how the movie they're in is surreal, they kind of fit. Alan Sapos as Dennis is probably the standout here. Anytime this guy is on screen, you're in for a good time. That being said, there's no bad ones here. Everybody did a fairly solid job. The movie looks really good too, and the black and white portions of the film, which are quite a few, look absolutely fantastic. Shooting in black and white is not just a filter you put on video. No, to shoot good black and white footage, you gotta know what you're doing. The lighting is totally different, and they mastered it here. The black and white portions of this film look great. The movie's got a really cool aesthetic overall, and I thought it was pretty neat how they shot all the flashbacks, which there's a couple of those, in color instead of black and white. We're more used to seeing like the present day stuff in movies in color and then flashbacks being black and white. This time, it's totally reversed. It's a little thing, but I thought it was pretty neat. Now, I think that this movie has a message. A few of them, in fact. But I think that due to the way the movie's made and its obtuseness, it's gonna be received differently from pretty much everybody who watches it. And while that is pretty neat, the question becomes, what were you trying to say then? If everybody gleams something different from this thing, what was it you were trying to say? But don't think the movie's gonna tell you that, because it's not. Guys, that cold dead look in your eyes was an interesting experience. I actually did enjoy most of my time with it, surprisingly enough. I like the weirdness and odd storytelling that was going on here, but the payoff just wasn't there and detracted from the entire experience as a result of it. It's performed and directed very well and looks great, and there were quite a few aspects of the story that I was really intrigued by. But man, that ending, it just didn't do it for me. It ain't gonna be for most people, that's for damn sure. But if you are into that really ambiguous type of storytelling and you're okay with not getting any answers, then check out That Cold Dead Look in Your Eyes on streaming.
Across the street.
Now, I actually did enjoy this movie, even though it did kind of go off the rails by the end. And I think there are people that are going to really like this film, but I know I already said it, but I gotta say it again. This movie is not going to be for most people. So if you go into it and you're like, what in the fuck am I watching? Just remember what I said. But if it is your kind of thing, then check this one out one night. I think you're gonna have a very interesting time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of That Cold Dead Look in Your Eyes. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys, and possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Manhattan.
You're done. Get your shit.
Now, something I didn't mention, because while I thought it was going to have more bearing on the story, it actually didn't, or at least I don't think it did, was the fact that the vast majority of this movie is in French. There's a little bit of English in there, but most of it is in French, and they're in New York City. I didn't quite get that, because it's not like just this small group of people. No, even when they're at like this restaurant that the guy works at, the customers, they're speaking French too. It's like everybody in New York suddenly speaks French, and that seemed a bit odd to me. I don't think that's how it is. It's been a while since I've been to NYC, but when I did last go, I don't remember this many people just walking around freely speaking French. I mean, 2020 happened and a lot of shit changed, so who knows? Maybe it's like a fucking French Revolution up there. I don't know.